Watch Who?
Hello.
And welcome to Watch Who, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm a Doctor Who fan.
And I'm new to Watching Who.
Watching for the very first time.
Very first time.
Yeah, and you join us here. Oh, hang on a second. Wait a second. Bloody chilies! Leave us alone! Sorry. Hang on. They've just been staring at me out that window this whole time. I'm so sorry about that. But we'll just have to record and
I like that you actually went to a window to shout that. Like, you could have done that anywhere, but Mark actually went to a window to do that. Neighbours are going to think you're crazy.
I know. Oh, well, I just had to do it. It's my favourite moment. So it's downtime this week. We are continuing our watch through the various spin-offs and straight-to-video items from the 90s.
It's been interesting.
How are you finding it? Let's check in.
Let's check in. Where are we at? Are we halfway?
Nearly, yeah.
It's not been as bad as I thought, I'll be honest. I thought it was going to be worse. The hardest part is I'm tired. Just generally, just being brutally honest, guys. Like, I'm just really tired. And these are really long.
It's not the best timing to do a load of spin-offs. And actually, I've just thought, I've never watched these like all in order like this before. These are more the kind of thing. It's not like a series like we've been doing. It's like, you just feel like, oh, I'll watch that film today, and you just watch a film as a one-off, and you don't do it in a part of a series. So actually, it is a different experience doing them in order.
It's a very different. It's really different. It's not necessarily. It's not good or bad. It's just different. That's all I'd say. And so it's really hard to compare it to what we've done previously. It feels like it's a spin-off of itself.
What do you mean?
Like, I feel like this entire segment that we are doing now of the 90s could be a spin-off of To Watch Who.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm doing I don't even feel like we're doing To Watch Who.
No,
sometimes.
That's what I meant. I said that a few weeks ago. It's like a weird thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I know. I really feel that now. Now I'm in it a little bit more. It feels way, way out of like anything that we've done before. And I really feel that. I really do feel it. Because each one is so different. So there's no, now I don't feel any form of consistency. And I'm honestly, guys, I'm just really tired. It's just the autumn. It's getting darker. Nearly Christmas. I'm really tired. It's
We'll get through it.
struggle. Like, not watching is a struggle, just being awake is a struggle. So the struggle is real for me being awake. I think I've done better than I thought I was going to do. But
yeah, but actually, okay, so they're not always this long though. We have had a lot of long ones. They do get shorter. They do. I promise.
Because budgets get shorter.
And we are slowly, getting into more modern times. We're up to 1995 still.
I think also it's kind of got me thinking a little bit about modern times and like
just all of modern time.
Mark's just looking at me because I'm just like also me and Mark, just for listeners out there, I nearly said readers. Honestly, my brain is so gone. We're recording on a Friday. It's been a long week. I am just rubbing my eyes as I'm talking. Taking my glasses off, rubbing my eyes. And we've also been talking for an hour and a half just about our lives.
I know.
Started this. We just why did we do that? Why did we do that?
I know, now we're going into this really tired.
And then we were like, oh, yeah, we should probably start talking about, what did I call it? Time hop or something. I should probably start talking about this episode. We came on at 5:30 and it's now 7:00. I'm just going to apologize now to everyone. Like, a lot of mistakes have been made tonight.
It's fine.
The readers, listeners, viewers, the people out there in the world. What was I trying to say? I don't even know what I was going to
I
say.
just said how you're finding it.
It got me thinking about the future stuff.
Oh
That
my,
was
that was it. Yeah.
that was it. It got me thinking about some of the stuff coming up in the future, and just thinking about, I think, like 2000s stuff, like as in what I know will come. I don't know. I remember it coming back. So as in, like, I remember the series coming back. I remember Christopher Eccleston. So like, I do remember that. I remember watching it on TV. I don't remember like much of the episodes, but I do remember it happening. It was huge. So let's not pretend it wasn't. It was a massive deal. It still feels such a big jump.
Yeah, well, it will be. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's strange because it feels like such a big jump still. There's also a little bit of me, and I never thought I'd say this, that kind of misses the old days. I
Well,
like,
it was easier because it was sort of like 25-minute chunks.
yeah, I kind of like, I was talking to someone about it the other day, and I was like saying, oh, maybe they listen. No, they won't be listening yet because they're just listening to the Oscars. But it's someone that comes to my pub quiz who's a Doctor Who fan. And I was and we were talking about, they're listening to the Oscars first. But we were talking about this, and I was saying, like, I said I'm doing the 90s stuff now. So I said I haven't started the new stuff yet. But there's something comforting about the formula of the old stuff and the knowing of it that's just quite nice. And maybe it's just because it's the autumn and Sarah likes the comfort of autumn. And like in the autumn, this time of year, what I like when I'm watching TV is things I know. It's getting darker. Look, I'm very much this time of year. I put Gilmore Girls on, and I come home because it's dark. I eat some ice cream, and I have Gilmore Girls on, or Bob's Burgers, or something that I know, and I put on TV that I know, and just comfort in that. And I can imagine people watching old episodes of Doctor Who at this time because they know it and the formula's the same. And even if you're not watching it, but it's there, right? Like, and I get that. And there's part of me that when I was watching this, I was like almost yearning for that old episode of like, I kind of know what would be coming.
Well, you're getting the full experience because if we go back to 1995, there is no new Doctor Who. We're not getting that on TV. It's not easy to access. They're not out all on video yet. This is what it felt like. We wanted Doctor Who and it wasn't being made. Instead, we got Downtime.
And then I said to you when I started watching it, and I said to you after, I was like, you've made me watch this before.
Only the beginning. So Downtime.
Like years ago, not like before we started doing this, years ago.
No. We watched it. I showed you it when we did the Abominable Snowmen after we saw that.
Was it. That was it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. So I just showed you that bit and I was like, this is what we're going to eventually get to. So Downtime, it's out on YouTube, everybody. It's actually out on DVD. But it is officially official on YouTube, so you can go and watch it if you haven't yet. It's out on DVD as well in your local HMV as well, so give it a try. Blockbuster, yeah. Hang on, well, we're going to go straight into it. I'll do the updates at the end. Missed all the updates. We're going straight into this.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Because we'd already updated each other for an hour and a half. Sorry.
I mean, I only watched this. I think I rented it from the library in the 90s. I didn't actually buy it or anything. I'm still quite young at this time and still just watching the repeats on TV. But this one, it brings back a lot of characters.
Which I'm guessing you didn't know when you watched it.
Well, I would have read it in Doctor Who magazine that it came out. I remember reading an article on it, but I wouldn't have known necessarily who they all are or how it all linked up. So basically, it's a bit of a sequel to the Yeti story. So we've got the Abominable Snowmen and we've got the Web of Fear, the underground one. Now, we did not like the Abominable Snowmen very much, did we?
No.
That was Pad in the monks and everything.
No.
And so
actually, this works fine. I didn't hate this as much as I thought I would.
Watching these again, I haven't watched these a lot of times. I watched this and I'm concentrating, I'm making notes. I really enjoyed this.
I mean, I wouldn't say I enjoyed it, but I didn't hate it. But also, like I said, please be kind. I'm really tired and it's hard. It's really hard. I did get through it. I did it all in one sitting. I understood it. I think sometimes that's a miracle. I enjoyed seeing some characters back, and that's what I'm going to take from it. I think that's pretty good going.
What are we talking about? Hang on, let me just check my blood sugar again. It might have gone low.
Mark has really low blood sugar.
It's 3.5. I'm all right.
I just need you this week, and I've been in school. We're both not at our best. I'm sorry.
Right, Downtime. Well, it's a very different look. It's a different feel and a look because it's
So when Mark does his clip show of this will be the one that's like, oh.
So, I mean, we had Liz and Probe the other week again, and we have been liking those. But this, I feel like, is a step up. It's a different company.
I was going to say, I actually think I preferred this to last week's.
Because even like last week's, it makes last week's, the Probe stuff, look very more amateur.
Yeah.
Because this has, I mean, it's got a director from Doctor Who, writers from Doctor Who, some of the visual effects people are from Doctor Who. It's more associated with people that have worked on Doctor Who than the other ones. I feel that, and I feel like this look is what Doctor Who would have looked like in the 90s if it was made by the BBC, actually. It wouldn't be too far off. It doesn't feel like last week, you know, like last week's we said it was like the Bill or something you'd see on TV. This week, this would be on like CBBC sort of production values, I think. In terms of just the production, the look of it, I could see the Doctor and Ace being on video. Literally, I mean, what am I talking about? In the format of video, not the format of film.
Do you know what I was going to say? I can say it on UK TV Gold, and I'm like, well, of course you can, Sarah, because that's where like all the old shows are shown. Maybe on like, what is it, Sky? Sci-fi? What's that channel?
Channel? What, the Sci-Fi Channel?
There's a channel called SYFY.
Sci-Fi.
Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
I'd see it on there.
It probably has been on there, yeah.
Channel 5. Do you know what? It's Channel 5. But old Channel 5. Not like Channel 5 of the last 5 years.
Channel 5. Well, yeah, we haven't... Channel 5 does not exist at this point in 1995.
Oh, exactly. But I can imagine it's been on Channel 5. But old Channel 5. Like, more Channel 5 recently has some good stuff. You've got a lot of Yorkshire Vet and stuff, like...
Well, I don't watch Channel 5 anymore because they axe Neighbours.
Yeah, because of the whole Neighbours thing, of course, yes. R.I.P. But, like...
Anyway, okay, I'm going to carry on. I'm going to start with Downtime and we'll get through it.
Did you watch anything else on Channel 5 other than Neighbours?
Well, All Creatures Great and Small.
There you go.
So Downtime. Right, let's start. So I showed you the earlier bit of this because it starts off with Victoria going back to the monastery from the Abominable Snowmen.
Oh, that was a terrible scene.
She's been called back, and let's just talk about Deborah Watling. I mean, we saw her in Dimensions in Time and didn't recognise her walking down the Cutty Sark. Even when she was in Doctor Who, she wasn't the strongest. She wasn't our favourite, was she? Victoria.
You know what? Actually, this, I 100% knew it was Victoria. But I think it annoyed me that I knew it was Victoria. Who is it then?
A third time I ask, what do you seek?
I want the truth. She sounds like Victoria. I knew it was Victoria. There was no doubt in my mind it was Victoria.
Well, she does that sort of screamy, whininess at the beginning, and she is supposed to be playing. So I don't. It's because we last saw Victoria. She was left with those guys from the oil rig in Fury from the Deep in the future because she came from Victorian times, and then so I think this is like, I don't know, 70s, 80s. She's a bit older, and they put her in a wig, and they've shot her half in the dark so it doesn't look like she's super old. I mean, I think in the making of it, she was objecting to this. She is self-aware that she cannot play younger. Okay, so
she can play that much younger. I mean, how much? They're asking us to play like what, 40 years younger at this point.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Doctor Who.
I don't think she's supposed to be like in her 20s in this. It's later on. I don't know. Say she's in her 30s, 40s. but she is supposed to be older than we see her later on in this.
Yeah, but I don't think that much, because actually I thought she looked pretty good later on. She looked older in the frigging temple in that wig than she did later on.
But anyway, they do a good effort of sort of recreating that, and she's been called back. So Victoria has been called back.
Victoria!
Father!
It's sort of Pad again is waking up, I guess is the idea.
Yeah.
Although she should know better because she was there with original Pad. So I don't know why she's like, oh, I'm just going back because, I don't know, she's already starting to get a bit hypnotized or something, I think. Anyway, and I think the guy there, the monk guy, is the original guy that played it in the actual 60s one as well.
I sort of guessed that because there's no way they would have chosen that person otherwise.
No.
That whole first scene is the weakest part of the entire film.
Yeah, I know. But if you're thinking for Doctor Who fans, it's supposed to be like this. I don't know. It was obviously half missing, and it still is. Oh, don't get me onto missing episodes. I was going to have a rant, but I won't.
Mark, we don't have time for you to get on your missing episode rant.
Don't. But it's a nice thing to hark back to the Abominable Snowmen, and you've got the web stuff obviously there as well. So we've got Victoria back, great, and then we see Kate Lethbridge Stewart on her boat.
Bloody chillies! Leave us alone!
So Kate Lethbridge Stewart, you know her from the new series, and we all know her, listeners, from the new series, played by Gemma Redgrave. So you saw her in the latest season finale.
Is that the same actress?
No.
I was going to say.
No.
I know who Kate Lethbridge Stewart is, yeah. But
so she was written for this video. She didn't exist before.
Right.
So this whole story that's set up here is that obviously the Brigadier has a daughter, Kate Lethbridge Stewart, and they've been estranged and they haven't talked or whatever. We don't really get into any of that. But then when Kate Lethbridge Stewart comes back, played by Gemma Redgrave, in Matt Smith's time. So then she's ongoing throughout every now, like the Brigadier was, just pops up every now and then for stories.
But has way more knowledge about what her dad did.
Well, yeah, in this, I was going to say somehow she came from living on a houseboat, not knowing anything, to being head of unit in however many years' time.
I know.
That hasn't been explained yet. But when she came back, everyone was like, "Oh, well, have they got permission for the guy that created Kate Lethbridge Stewart in Downtime?" So it was Chris Chibnall who wrote the episode with Kate Lethbridge Stewart. And he's the showrunner for Jodie Whittaker and stuff. Anyway, he claimed, I think I read this somewhere, he claims he had no idea. It's just a coincidence that it's Kate Lethbridge Stewart and it's Brigadier's daughter, and they sort of look a bit the same. He had no knowledge, apparently, of Downtime. So I don't know about that, but
Really?
I don't know if that's to get out of copyright thing, but it was just a coincidence that a Kate Lethbridge Stewart happened to star in the new series. Take that as you will. But I really like the original Kate. I think they could have had her in the new series absolutely fine and no problems. She's brilliant. I really like her.
It's all too familiar, surely. It's the same name.
Yeah. I don't know how they got away with that, but they did.
Listeners, I rolled my eyes.
But as I say, the Kate that we see here hasn't spoken to the Brigadier for like 6 years. She lives on a lovely boat along the river. I mean, if anything, this video, everyone, should show you how spacious a houseboat is. I mean,
at one point, there's like 5 of them on that houseboat,
and a Yeti in there as well.
There's Kate. There's the 2 randomos that we'll come to. Her dad. There's a cameraman.
Well, yeah. They're all on that boat. It's great. I think there is a lot of space on a houseboat. And then so there's these chilies which is a really weird name, it's a bit culty. This is what I don't like. This is the stuff that dates this, is that you've got all these students of this university. They've all got like really old Walkmans on,
Yeah.
and all the computer stuff. I think that was dated in 95. That computer stuff we saw in the early 80s in actual Doctor Who. I don't know how it seemed of somebody watching it at the time, but I feel like it just doesn't. I think
they could have explained it better if they'd have said something like, "We found this old code" or something like that.
Yeah, because I mean, the idea of it is a very 90s and what would be done because this was turned into a book as well afterwards as a missing adventure. And I like the idea, and computers are coming. Like, you not really got the internet in 95, like big time. I like the idea that the next web is the World Wide Web, that it's trying to, that's a great idea, but it's just, I feel like in a couple of years it would have worked a bit better with the actual internet, but you wouldn't have had the internet at the universities there, surely. They wouldn't have had that in real life.
I don't know.
Did you? I don't know. I didn't really know about the internet until like 97. Maybe it was a thing in schools and universities and stuff then, so it was. But I don't know, I just feel like that's all dated. So you've got all these people and they're all like hooked up, all wearing the same like yellow hats and stuff. It's just a bit... You wouldn't do that now. If you were doing like a cult university thing, you'd find other ways of doing it rather than just everyone dressed up. I mean, they've got a lot of extras. They've got a big cast.
It's a big cast. It's a good budget.
So anyway, Kate's been like stalked by these people. We don't know why. And then we meet the Brigadier as well. So he hasn't really changed at all. I mean, we last saw him in Battlefield. So there's a bit of a weird thing because he's been teaching at the school, Turlo's school, if you remember. Did you?
Yeah,
You were following this when you were watching it? Like,
Yeah. I'm just thinking, like, when we last saw him.
So it was with the big blue guy, the Destroyer, and the new Brigadier.
Big blue.
Big blue. So he came out of retirement because he was living with Doris in that massive house. So I think...
He looked older then than he did in this.
I know. He looks like he's just come out of the Turlo story.
Honestly, I thought he looked amazing. Did.
Anyway, so he's somehow living back in his little hut that he was in Mordred Undead. So I don't know where the battlefield and living with Doris. I mean, I don't think he's talking to Doris anymore and stuff. I mean, there's a whole thing going on there. We didn't see Kate Lethbridge Stewart when he was living with Doris in that big house. There's a lot of gaps in the Brigadier's history here.
Perhaps you should get off that boat.
It's not the boat, it's them.
And me too.
Well, army families get to live together, so why didn't we? Was your career that important?
I'm afraid I can't explain, Kate.
Mum used to think that you were some sort of spy. We used to hope it because at least that would be interesting. But it's just soldiers, isn't it? Training to kill people with big guns.
That we're not to know. He doesn't want anyone to know. He said to him, wants to write his autobiography, though.
Yeah, he should. There's all that astral plane stuff. I think that's a bit boring, but I suppose you have to get into the story and link everybody up. So he keeps seeing like Yeti on the beach, and then he sees it took me a minute to work out that the university kid that's typing in on the computer that's a bit sort of gone rogue used to be at the Brigadier's school. So the Brigadier used to teach him, and then he's gone on to university, and then he's meeting him at the astral plane because of whatever reason. If that isn't enough to have Victoria and the Brigadier and Kate Lethbridge Stewart, we then get Sarah Jane Smith.
Who doesn't, I mean, I expected more.
I think she said, I'm only available for like one day. And she's like, really, I mean, if you think about it, she's like, the Brigadier is like the big star, but getting Sarah Jane back, like a big favourite.
Yeah.
I think she was, I'm only doing a little bit of this. So I think that's why you only see her in a bit of it.
Not much.
Or they couldn't afford her.
It's so small, the amount that she's in.
But yeah, this is where I got a little bit confused with the story, because she turns up at the university.
Miss Smith.
Yes.
Welcome to New World. I'm so sorry if we've kept you waiting. Christopher Rice, marketing facilitator.
Morning.
You've brought the profiles with you, I hope.
Yes?
Good. Then let's go on up. Miss Waterfield, the university's vice-chancellor, would like to thank you personally.
And she's a journalist.
She's a journalist, ladies and gentlemen.
And I couldn't really understand why she was there. They'd asked her there, and there's that. So Victoria is head of now the university in her like 90s suit. And there's another guy who I don't think's very good. The other guy that's sort of working with her, the baddie guy.
Yeah. I mean, there's like a few, but the things are so minimal. I kind of didn't mind. Like the parts are quite minimal compared to, I didn't mind them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't know. He just took me out of it. I felt like you've got all these actors from Doctor Who and stuff, and then you've got this other guy who usually the other parts are played quite well, but I feel like he was just a fan available on the day that just wanted to take the... I don't know, he was very acty to me when everyone else was quite naturalistic. They're trying to track down the Brigadier, is what I gathered.
Yeah.
And somehow they know that Sarah Jane was part of UNIT, but she's sort of keeping quiet. She's like, oh, I'm just a journalist. And obviously Sarah Jane has never met Victoria, so they don't know who each other is. And it's a shame that Victoria now is sort of hypnotised pretty much throughout the rest of it, and we don't actually see Victoria. She could just be playing anybody, really, if you see what I mean.
Yeah,
it's not like, oh, we're getting Victoria. You know, like we see Sarah Jane and she's totally Sarah Jane throughout the whole thing. We've seen a new bit of Sarah Jane. She's just carrying on as she was. She could have just come out of the TV show from before. Whereas Victoria, you just don't get to see actual Victoria, even at the end or anything really. You just see it. There's a few scenes, but she's pretty much playing hypnotized person, which gets a bit bland and boring, I think. You need, that's part of the Doctor Who. I mean, it does follow your sort of Doctor Who story. If this was 4 episodes with a cliffhanger every 25 minutes, it would be a standard 80s Doctor Who story.
The end wraps up very nicely of a Doctor Who story. In that sense, when you said it's Doctor Who writers, that does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't go too far off.
Sorry, my Siri thought I was talking to it then.
Oh.
I'll say that again.
I can't remember what I was saying. Oh, we see the silver ball as well. So I didn't really like all of the Chile University stuff and all of that. I'm not really interested. But when Sarah Jane turns up, you just want to see what she's going to get up to and everything. Oh, yeah. And so the student is called Daniel. So he's from Turlough School. He is like the odd one out. He hasn't been hypnotized by everybody else. So he's trying to get away. And he's chased by a silver ball throughout the university. Because it's the great
why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the best directed. It's just a bit. I mean, they've obviously been able to get this university on like a Sunday morning or something when there's nobody around. And you know, you've got a lot of location, you've got a lot of different characters in different places. It feels bigger than any of the spin-offs that we've seen before. They're putting the effort in. That Daniel then like runs away and finds and makes friends with the tramp guy just out of nowhere.
Of course.
Who is played by Crispy Master, who we saw last week as the head of the
Master.
So let me just say, he's got another tick. So he was playing the head of the Ministry in Probe last time.
Yeah.
In actors tally count, it's still Peter Davison and Sophie Eldred at the top with 3 each. Nobody has overtaken that tally so far. Oh, we also have the DJ he's K9.
Yeah. What? Hang on. So the DJ was all right. Sorry, my head went to the DJs and the DJ from the DJ in that episode.
Revelation of the Daleks. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I don't know if that was the idea, but
it was K9, and I was like, wait, what? Not the DJ in this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Yeah.
So he's got ticks. That DJ guy does. Well, he sort of. I'm not really sure what the point of him is really, apart from to get killed and to do like an announcement. It's a bit weird that everyone's taken over apart from him. He sort of is like the DJ in Revelation of the Daleks, sort of separate and just sort of commentating in his little booth for a little bit until he gets killed.
I guess like he's sort of, because he's early on, he's sort of like the one that's talking to the students and has sort of started this until he realizes that things aren't what they seem. So, and it's kind of nice to have that for fans, isn't it?
So then we're getting the Brigadier into it. It's a bit like when the Brigadier was in it last with Battlefield. You know, he took ages to get to the action because he had to get the call, he had to get in that helicopter, he had to go, you know, he's on his way, he's been called up, he wakes up, his daughter's trying to get in touch with him. My big takeaway from the Brigadier in his waking up in his house is the Brigadier keeps eggs in his fridge, I noticed. I don't know who keeps eggs.
That's a big takeaway that you haven't been.
I know, he opened his fridge and there's all these eggs at the top there. I don't think the Brigadier... you shouldn't keep eggs in the fridge, right?
Some people do.
No, I don't think that's a good thing. They're not in the fridge in the supermarkets.
I don't, but no. I know some people do.
Anyway, well, the Brigadier does, everybody. Brigadier does. So we then have to wait for the Brigadier to get to the action.
Sorry.
What?
You and your eggs. Carry on.
There's a quick call from Sarah Jane to the Brigadier. I mean, they've tried to make her. She is really for at beginning and at the end, really, isn't she?
Yeah.
But
there's a time. Is there something in the middle? I feel there's
yeah.
a
Well,
time
she calls the Brigadier, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
And then that's how the locust.
I kind of
thing,
forgot that she was in it until she appeared again.
She doesn't really add to the story, unfortunately. Apart from she throws the Yeti onto that electrical thing at the end and like helps, but it's nice to see her, but yeah, she doesn't really add to it. And it's a shame that the Brigadier is sort of wandering around not knowing what's going on for a lot of the time. Can we talk about, though, the traffic jam sequence? Because, again, budget-wise, they're in London, you've got St Paul's there, and the Brigadier gets caught in a traffic jam.
Yeah, sorry,
so they've obviously shut off the road, they've got a load of cars, they've got a load of extras. I mean, it's quite ambitious.
There's quite a few good scenes in this, really. There's a few good ambitious scenes, and that is one of them, yeah.
Well, okay. What were standouts for you then? Before rather than me just saying the plot, what did you like? What was good?
See, I think the things I like were like moments almost nothing to do with the story. Like, I liked the moment between the Brigadier and Kate. I liked those. There was a moment where he was talking to her when she first goes to like contact him and is like, look, there's something going on, and like that dialogue. And then later on when she says to him like, oh, and you have a grandson and stuff. I liked those moments because it's just nice seeing the Brigadier, that side of him.
Yeah, and it does. Yeah, it tries to add a bit of a.
Gives him another level and layer that we never see in the show. For a character that we've known for a long time. So I liked that. I liked the stuff on the boat. I thought that worked really well. I liked I don't know why I liked it. I think it's just because it made me laugh. And I thought, fair play, that works as a very convenient plot device. When the Brigadier, he's talking to that student, he's like, but you're dead. And he's like, no, but I put myself in the computer or whatever. And then he helps Kate. And I was like, that's a very convenient plot device. And it just made me laugh.
I mean, well, the whole thing is, though, because they meet on the astral plane, that's the whole way of them connecting the story. If they didn't have that, if it was actual real life, then it wouldn't work, because that student contacting the Brigadier is actually the great intelligence using him, isn't it? I don't get how the student suddenly turned into a Yeti.
No, I mean, there was some bits there, but it really made me laugh. And he was like, but you are dead. And he was like, no, I put myself into that. And when he's like helping her, like typing, I don't know, it made me laugh.
Yeah.
I think I like that for the wrong reason.
But that would happen in Doctor Who, though. So
yeah. And then I liked at the end when they're walking along. I liked when he meets his grandson at the end, obviously. I liked when they're walking along at the end and Sarah Jane's just explaining the whole summary of how it's all wrapped up, because that's a very Doctor Who thing to have done. They're nothing almost to do with the story. They're just moments I think I like, because as a fan, I think you like those moments because they give you something extra. I liked it because I like the Brigadier, and I like seeing different parts of the Brigadier, and I like seeing Sarah Jane back.
Yeah, the overall actual script, the actual story is not really very much. You know, you're there because you just want to see the Brigadier again, and he is exactly like he was from the TV show. Same with Sarah Jane. We see Professor Travers as well.
Yeah, that was a nice surprise. I mean, we haven't seen him in a while, but I do remember him.
It's funny because he looks like, he's old there. They made him up old when he was in the 60s.
Yeah, and now he looks the part.
So now he actually looks the part.
I thought him and what's her name, their little dialogue about like she's missing her father and he's missing his daughter.
That's what I was going to say. Because that's when I was like, because Professor Travers is supposed to, basically he's the new Pad, because back when Padma thingy, he was like the head monk that had been taken over. And now that thing has survived and taken over Professor Travers. So he's walking around and it's Professor Travers' Pad. And then when they have that dialogue with Victoria and that, that's when we really see Victoria, because she's talking, like you say, that scene. So they sort of are hypnotized,
I forgot her name, Victoria. I forgot her name. Go on, carry on. I said, what's her name?
It's so weird with Deborah Watling's Victoria because she doesn't look anything. I mean, with Sarah Jane and even Liz, you can sort of see it's them but older. But with her, if you had a picture of Victoria from the 60s, it just wouldn't
It's
look
not
like
so
her.
much that. I think it's because Victoria was such a wet character.
She was.
She was so wet, bless her. All she did, she never wanted to get out the TARDIS. She never wanted to go anywhere. She didn't want to do anything. She just wanted to go home.
Well, it's quite fitting, though, that this whole thing would have taken over Victoria and basically ruined her life because
Yeah, of course it did. Of course it did.
it would happen to Victoria, wouldn't it? And
Yeah.
then that bit at the end where the Brigadier Sarah Jane's walking off and you just see Victoria on her own and they don't know it's Victoria and she's just left, abandoned. She doesn't get that sort of happy ending wrap up. She's just like, well, this has taken over my whole life now. I've been hypnotized by the great intelligence. I've created this university. It's all gone. And also, yeah, it deals with that consequence that she's not back in her own time because she was from Victorian time. She's like, great, I'm stuck in the 90s at this university. Again, it's a very 90s thing that the writers would do, like Dodo, etc. But the moments that we did see Victoria, when she sort of came out of it, you're like, how much was she hypnotized? How much she sort of drops in and out of it, depending, because she has a little laugh with Sarah Jane.
Don't they? They do talk about that, like how much do you think she was hypnotized, or how much was it her choice?
Yeah, because that it's more that evil guy. He gets taken over as well, doesn't he? That non-actor guy. I'm going to call him the non-actor. So yeah, she's just all sort of used. So it's it's like bittersweet seeing Victoria. I can never see her as that character from Doctor Who though. She's always, I don't know, I can just see her as it's Deborah Watling being, I don't know, she's just aged too much. It sounds really harsh. She just is nothing like that person that was in Doctor Who, unfortunately. And her acting is, I mean, it might be a blessing that she was just playing hypnotized the whole time. She's not up there. She's not way over the top, but she's not so realistic. She sort of fits in the middle. She's not, do you know what I mean? She doesn't, I'll stop being harsh about Deborah Watling. Sorry, everyone, but it's just.
I think for me, it's not even as much as that. It's just Victoria was just always a bit of a bland character to me. She just never wanted to do anything. She was, like it was always around that time. It's close to the Polly time for me as well.
It's coming up to Polly time.
It's around that time where just female companions were just the washiest things or really frustrating. I really struggled with a lot of the writing for female companions around this time. We have Victoria that's a wet blanket, and then we get Polly that's like the other end of the scale. I think
Kate Lethbridge Stewart comes out really well in this. Although she doesn't
she does. Well, there's something just really human about her. It's a really human portrayal. I think that's probably why it's resonated well.
We will talk about her again in these spin-offs at some point as well. There's more things to come, but I think she's a great actress. The Yetis don't look great though.
No, but look, it's not like they have a lot of appearance.
No, I think they did well to not keep them, the main thing.
It's not like we see loads of them. You see that ball more than you see the Yeti.
Yeah,
so
that was a good choice. And having all the smoke and the soldiers and the Yeti come out, I mean, that's trying to recreate that Web of Fear moment. But because it's on videotape in colour, it just shows up all the flaws. It does show that actually 60s Doctor Who does look much better on film, or murky film in black and white sometimes for these things. But just the costumes were sort of looked like sort of fan creations. They didn't really stand up. There is just one other character to mention. There's the guy, it's Cavendish, the soldier guy that the Brigadier goes to meet from UNIT, who's sort of the new UNIT. They meet in that hotel. There's that whole thing in the hotel.
Yeah, that weird scene.
It's a bit random.
Yeah, and then he comes out with the gun and then they get out really quickly.
Yeah. So I think that's the Brigadier he's been called up by UNIT, out of retirement again, a bit like before, but then he's been taken over as well, and then he just sort of stands there for the rest of the time. I only mention that because in my mind I was thinking they missed a trick there. They could have had the new Brigadier turn up and be like, you're called in again, and then she could have been taken over. They could have had Brigadier Bambera, maybe. That would have been a nice thing. Yeah. I just thought of that when I was watching it the other day. But no, I think this is one of the best in terms of what we've seen so far. It just puts the other company, unfortunately, the Probe lot, just highlights their flaws more for me. As we're doing this in order, that's what's interesting to see, the sort of the varying qualities. They're all sort of made around the same time. And actually, you could have had Liz in this as well. If you're getting all the unit people together, just throw in Liz. That's my fan brain just saying, I'll just put Liz in there as well to meet Sarah Jane and all of that. That would have been nice because they both know the Brigadier.
Maybe she wasn't available, Mark.
No, I know. Well, yeah, maybe not. She was busy filming the other one, probably. But anyway, I think if I had got this on video in 1995, I would have been like 8 or 9. I would have just watched this again and again, and this would be my favourite film ever, and I would have lots of good memories about it. I don't think I must have just got it, a bit later on. It's a good effort.
Like I said, I did follow it. It was nice to see people back. Probably the things that I took away as enjoyment might not be the same as others. I did, when I pushed play on YouTube and saw how long it was, I did do a massive scroll through to check if there were any like last time, and there wasn't. So I was like, okay, I have to watch the whole thing.
I know. It's a proper film. It's a proper, Oh, and we see the Brigadier's grandchild, Gordy, at the end.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, I could have played him at that age. It looks like me.
You really could. You actually could. You actually could have been Gordy.
I could have been Gordy.
You were probably that age.
Yeah.
You could have been on a canal boat and everything.
That's me, yeah. Do you think they did the canal boat because they couldn't, rent out an actual house to film in? And they were like, oh, we can just live on a boat.
I think, it made it a more interesting setting when they're trying to, escape. When you've got them along the side. Or maybe it belonged to someone in production. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, just get the boat going along. And there we go. That's Downtime. A good effort, everybody. Well done for getting through it. I'll just do some of the updates while we're now at the end, everyone. What did I write down?
You're going to do some of your, you're going to do your parish notices.
Oh, my parish notice. Well, no, I was going to say, I did see the War Machines on the big screen the other week. That was good. But
you saw what, sorry?
The War Machines.
The War Machines.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, Polly on the big screen. And I've seen the new version of the Happiness Patrol that came out on Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah?
Special edition. It's so much better, actually. Not just the effects. The effects are great. They've redone everything. But all of the scenes that they put back in, all the deleted scenes.
Yeah.
Just make it just makes so much more sense. There's so much, all these explanations. Sometimes it's just literally one sentence at the end or beginning of a scene that they cut out, but it's that important sentence that shows what's going to happen next. All the character stuff has just been put back in there. It just works so much better. So, I mean, we like the Happiness Patrol anyway, but this actually, it's like, oh, actually, this is, you just get a sense of actually what's going on. So thoroughly recommend it. It was really, really good. So I just had to let you know that, but you're probably not that interested.
No, that's interesting.
And I signed us up. We're on Blue Sky.
Oh, I was going to ask about Twitter and what's going on there.
So we are on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky. We're on all of them at the moment. Yeah.
I think I'm going to lose my Twitter soon.
Yeah, everyone seems to be doing that.
Shut my Twitter down. I don't really use it very much. I only use it for this.
So anyway, so we're Blue
It saves
Sky.
my notifications as well. I like my personal notifications. So I think I might shut my Twitter down.
Okay. Well, find us on Blue Sky.
Hey, look, The Guardian has shut its Twitter down. So people are making the move.
They are. Well, just make sure that it's not like the great intelligence that's taken over Twitter or something. Oh,
I think
dear.
it's it's just working out. Well, I guess is that where a lot of Doctor Who people are going to? Blue Sky?
I don't know. I think it's 50-50 at the moment. Some people are. I don't know. I just thought I'd set it up just so we've got it, just in case we need it.
So I was using what is it? Matrid. I can't remember what it's called.
I haven't got anything else, but
hang on, I have to look it up now. Social network. I was using Mastodon.
Yeah, I've not
for a while,
seen any of those.
Tell us what you're using, guys. Send us a message.
Yeah, so we're on Blue Sky if you want to find us, everyone, and we'll see how that goes. See how everything goes.
And maybe we need to be more active with our Instagram.
Yes, I know. I just need to. I know. I keep not doing that.
Maybe we just need to do that. Maybe that's the alternative. We just get more active with Instagram.
But anyway, there we are. So that is Downtime. That is another one done. Well done.
I can't help with the Instagram because Mark can't remember the login.
I know, I can't log in. I'm logged in, but I don't know what it is. Anyway, shall I tell you what's coming up next? So this might help, actually. Because actually, I can't believe I totally forgot this in the actual list of all the things to forget. We are on to 1996 next.
Right.
One of the best years ever. It's not a spin-off.
Oh.
Doctor Who is back.
Oh, and you forgot.
Actual Doctor Who is back. I can't believe we are doing the new Doctor Who TV movie, co-produced by the BBC and Fox. The 8th Doctor is back.
Right.
This is official. It's on It's on the Doctor Who on iPlayer to watch.
Okay.
This is official Doctor Who. Did you know there was an 8th Doctor?
I'm skeptical at the minute. Go on. What is it?
Oh, it's just called Doctor Who the TV movie.
Oh, okay.
It's official Doctor Who.
And you forgot about this when you were putting your list together.
Because I was concentrating on all the spin-offs. But no, Doctor Who does come back after, it's been like about 6 years. It's a pilot, and obviously it never went to series. It didn't work out, but it's half American, so it was filmed in Canada. But it is BBC. It was on BBC One in 1996. Big news, new Doctor Who.
So that's what we're doing next?
That is what we're doing next, actual Doctor Who. So I have a lot to talk about because this is like peak. Me and Ross are reading Doctor Who magazine. We're very excited for the Doctor Who TV movie. It is one of my favourites. It is my favourite Doctor.
Oh, the 8th?
The 8th Doctor. It's my favourite Doctor. I don't want to say anymore. I want to see what you think. See how it starts off as well. So I think everyone's going to be excited about this one. It's a TV movie, so it is like an hour and a half.
Yeah. I mean, I expected.
So sorry about that.
I've sort of accepted it now, so
yeah, we'll get through. There's not tons to go, and then when we get to the new series, they're 45-minute episodes. But you've got to live through the struggles of the 90s with all of us.
I know. I am, guys. I am.
So when
the autumn,
I know.
This is my like hibernation period.
I know. Well, yeah, but that's just can sit and watch a nice film. This is completely different. It's got a budget. It's official. They've put millions, I'm sure, of pounds behind this. It will be a different experience. Very interesting. Anyway, okay, we'll wrap it up. I think my blood sugar's gone low again. I can feel myself going weird. What is it now?
Oh, please go and take
3.9. It's all right.
Some sugar.
Oh, there we are. Downtime. Love it. Right. Oh, okay. Well, where are we? We're on To Watch Who on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky. You can also support us at buymeacoffee.com/To Watch Who. I keep meaning we're going to move over to Patreon because we've had some issues with Buy Me a Coffee. I just need to sit down and just sort it all out because
I'll try and do it. I'll add it to my list.
It's just not working. Yeah,
I'll add it to my list and I'll get it done.
It's all yeah. It's all well. I just need to sit down and do it. And everyone, I still haven't done that Neighbours thing. I'm still bad Neighbours guy. I need to sit down and do that.
Right, I'll do it because Mark has been having things on his to-do list for. I'll do it, Mark. I get shit done. I'll do it.
Set up Patreon.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll sort it.
Okay. And
I'll get it done tonight.
And then we'll get stuff transferred over and we'll tell everyone where to. I don't know how we do it, but we'll need to sort it out.
I'll sort it.
We'll have to stop the coffee one
and
then
Sarah will sort it this weekend.
Set up the Patreon.
Sarah will sort it before this episode goes out.
Are you sure? We are very far behind on episodes. This goes out next week.
Yeah, I know. Sarah will sort this, Mark, before this episode goes out. Okay?
Okay.
I'm telling you now, have no fear.
Did we cover Downtime? Have I just completely forgot what we said about Downtime today? I feel like did we talk about it enough? I feel like we haven't talked about Downtime enough, but Mark, I'm just going to say
talking for
a while.
48 minutes.
Okay. I just want to say that I really love Kate Lethbridge Stewart.
Go and have some sugar, Mark.
Okay, well, we'll see you next time, everybody, for actual Doctor Who. I'm very excited.
Bye.
To Watch Who.
I feel like we didn't did we cover it?
Yeah, of course we did.
Oh, hang on.